Check out these ad analytics, guys. I'm about to pull the screen back here, or pull the proverbial veil back here, and show you guys some stuff that typically we do not like to show. So first up, we got a Facebook ad running here that you can see overall, just over the past 30 days, has done incredibly well for a fairly solid budget. So we're spending a little over $2,000 a month, but we're getting well over 100 messages converted. Now you have to think to yourself, this is Facebook. So typically speaking, 25 to 35% true conversion, which means, is that lead a really good lead? Or is it someone just trying to look for a job? Is it someone trying to sell you something? Is it someone that accidentally clicked? You do have those things that come into play. And if there's ever an agency that you talk to and they try to tell you that 80, 90% of the leads are legitimate, go ahead and run in the opposite direction. I can assure you they do not have your best intention at heart. So with that being said, guys, again, about 112 leads that got converted into messages. So from that, using our app, right, Prodigy X, we know for a fact those messages were converted into SMS, which also dramatically increases the conversion rate. Now, from this point, it gets very, very interesting. So with 112 messages on a 25 to 35% conversion rate, which in this particular case, this client actually does manage to get a good bit higher conversion because his sales process is flawless. He's actually listened and implemented every single thing that we've asked him to. So his conversion rate's about 40 to 50% because his client cultivation and acquisition is on point. It's magnificent. He's getting about 40 to 50 of those messages fully legitimized. So what does that truly mean? Well, I would say about 50% of those are landing into estimates, true calls, right? So 25 to 30 of those messages are actually landing into estimates. And because he is a good closer and he knows his process and his products services very, very well, he lands at least 10 to 15 of those jobs, and a lot of times more than that. Sometimes he's 70, 80% closed. So with that being said, spending a tiny little bit over $2,000 in ad spend, right, plus our fee, yields him on average, depending on the job, anywhere between, I would say $1,500 is one of the lower jobs that he would do, all the way up to $30,000. So if he does 10 to 15 of these jobs, as you can see, you're looking at anywhere between $40,000 and $100,000 in work per month or more just off of this particular one ad. This does not include any of the Google ads that we're running for him, any of the search engine optimization campaigns, or anything like that. So the next ad I want you guys to take a peek at here is dedicated towards phone calls versus messaging. Now, and keep in mind, most people nowadays, 70 to 80% of people are going to rather want to text you, email you, or do a form submit in order to reach out to you before they ever get on a phone call with you. That being said, there is still a plethora, or I should say quite a few people out there that absolutely do like getting on phone calls. And most of them are homeowners or business owners. So with that knowledge in hand, we know for a fact it's still smart to run a good phone call campaign. Knowing that, going into this, phone calls are going to be way less in conversion versus your messages and your emails. So from this particular ad, you can easily see that he's gotten well over 200 phone calls. And some of these ads, as you can see, there's multiple ads that we run for this particular client. And guys, just to be straight with you, we run at least 6 to 12 ads on average at any given time, because in some cases it's really smart to micro test ads against each other to see which one works the best. With that being said, again, conversion rate on some of these ads are over 80% or right at 80% or higher. Guys, I don't know who can beat that. That's some of the best conversion rates that you can get in the ads business, hands down. Now, these ads in general, again, they're not cheap ads, right? So you're spending $1,500, $1,000, $2,000 on an ad campaign, but they're yielding you over 200 phone calls. So again, if we go back to a better conversion rate, because it is a phone call, if you're landing 60, 70 jobs from these phone calls, please tell me how it doesn't make sense to pay $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 for $200,000 worth of work or more. So I wanted to elaborate on this more specifically to really give people a much broader range and more specific viewpoint of exactly how ads truly work when you really get into the game. And again, please keep in mind, guys, these folks out here that are telling you, oh, you can spend $100, $300, $500. Again, the entire landscape has changed. Not not to say that a couple $100 may not help you, at least with branding. Like if you want to boost posts or just run a basic branding campaign, there's nothing wrong with that. And that most certainly will get you in front of people. But when it comes to conversion, guys, in 90% of the areas in this country, within the United States, you're gonna have to spend money. It's just as simple as that. But when you spend money and you have a really good offer and you know your services and you know how to cultivate clients, you have a recipe for success.